A guy who can party but doesn't is my favorite breed. I don't want my man outside. I want my man working. I want my man focused on his purpose and just being super driven. But I don't want a boring guy. If we were to go to a trip to Mykonos and get a table, I want someone that can party hard with me on special occasions, but generally day to day, he's not going out. On weekends, he's not really going out. There's just nothing hotter than a man who works and loves working. Guys who still want to party and live that life, that's fine. That is not for me though.
I'm about to eat you up right now, so sit down. Staying with a man through hard times does not make you his ride or die. It does not make you his home that he always comes back to. Does not make you God's strongest soldier, whatever you guys say. It makes you his biggest dummy. The thought process of staying with a man while he's at his worst was literally constructed by men. I can tell you point blank, period. Men will not respect you. You will show how little self-worth you have because straight up, show me the man who's standing beside you. I can show you how much or how little you have self-respect. And yes, he'll want you to stay around because women are currency to men, period. Having you around benefits him. Having him around you only siphons your energy. You're going to be putting more energy towards that man, specifically if he's in hard times. You're going to want to put more energy toward him, try to build him up. All of that should be going into you, not to him. And men know that women have this maternal instinct, this, Barbara the Builder, as Shira 7 says, instinct to want to just fix them. Don't do that. Don't fix them. That's on them. They need to find their masculinity and go ahead and fix themselves. It is okay to leave. If you said this situation does not serve me, you are not in a financial position where you can actually treat me the way I need to be treated, you are not serving my life. Okay? Period. Being his cook, being his cleaner, being his maid, being his built-in nanny pretty much is only helping him find somebody better, find somebody who respects themselves more. I'm telling you, if you go back to men who aren't dating you, if they're dating somebody else and you ask, why did you keep going back to this woman? They will inevitably say, because she let me. Has nothing to do with love.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch whore!
He's not in a financial position to treat me the way I deserve. The first thing I'll say is, I don't know who told you that men are out here looking for broke women. Because women like this one, who are clearly hungry for money, are the kind who get with a man and end up ruining him, because all they know how to do is spend. I've always had standards. If a woman doesn't bring anything to my life, I cut her off. And when I say bring something, I'm not talking about money. Every man goes through highs and lows, but it's in the lows that you really get to know who's by your side. If your woman leaves you in a time of crisis, don't get mad. Thank God he took the wrong woman out of your life. That's why I always support the idea that a man should value the woman who helped him build, and more than anything, the one who stayed when he lost everything and still treated him with love and gave him encouragement. Because what this woman said represents the biggest fear most men have, that they'll stop being loved once they have nothing left.
Want to see a bunch of men get really pissed off in the comments section, then stop scrolling. You're going to want to see this one. So I married a man in finance, right? He works super late nights, very early mornings. It is truly nonstop. And I like to poke fun at him sometimes in the situation because he's trying to work in really weird places, like laptop open, still on the phone, boarding the plane. Sometimes I'm just like, what are you doing? But he's also just a different breed of human. He really is. But sometimes people will comment on my videos or they will come in my DMs and they'll be like, I don't know how you do it. I can never live with someone like that. I can never live like that, yada, yada, yada. And I have news to share with you guys, okay? I am not attracted to a leisure man. No, I'm not. And dare I say it, being leisure is for the girl. I picked my poison. I chose my poison. Dare I say it, I am attracted to this poison. I am not into a man that you have to coach. I'm not into someone that I have to be their mommy. I am into a man that is driven. He's out there. He knows what he wants and he's getting after it. I don't have to tell him to do anything. No direction. By all means, though, if you're into a leisure man, do you. But this girl? No.
Absolutely. That's the role of a good wife. If your man is out there chasing the money, working to give you both a better life, then what's your role? To support him, to take care of that man. Make sure he has his meals, his clothes are in order, and it's obvious he has a wife who looks after him. What's his role? To provide for you. to make sure you have a stress-free life, that he's the one carrying the financial burden. But when he has a moment to breathe, you're there as his place of peace and love. A woman who has a productive man understands that her man is her business. The better he does, the better life she gets, because most of the time it's the wife who enjoys the rewards of his success. A feminist woman with a nose ring is never going to understand that.
I just saw a video that I literally screamed at because I just related to it so much, because I was just like, oh my goodness, this, and I never know how to describe it. But this woman literally came on the internet and said, I do not want a leisurely man. I want a man who's working, and her man works in finance and whatever. And I never really talk about dating here, but my biggest pet peeve in anything, and the way that my friends date, or people around me just in general date, is there's grown men being mothered by their girlfriend who's younger than them or the same age as them. And that shit blows me. It actually, oh my God. Why is your man literally a princess? Why are you working like a dog day and night and he's chilling, vibing? He doesn't even have a goal. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have anything. And I think it's just it really just pisses me off and irks me to even see that. But for a man to try to enter my life with that type of energy is insane. I rebuke it. I forbid it. Back up. That's crazy as hell to me. I have more ambition. I'm working harder. I'm making more money than you. I'm more educated than you as my man. I'm not talking about your man, so don't get mad. Don't get your panties in a twist. I know how y'all like to be upset when people like to have standards for themselves, but there's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way. You have to bring real value into my life for you to be the father of my children, and for you to not be resourceful enough to figure your own shit out and have your own goals and have a life and dream. And you want to be the father of my children? Huh. Goodbye. Goodbye. That's actually so crazy to me. But anyways, that video just made me so happy because I felt so seen. And I actually fully do believe in not dating below your tax bracket either, especially as a woman of color, especially as a Black woman, especially as first-gen immigrant. There's no way that you worked your ass off to be up here for you to date a man who's meant to be the provider, by the way, and whatnot, since they love to be an alpha male. And you're dating a man that can't even do that. Can't even provide the thing that they're supposed to do. So you're dragging the table with you to this relationship. It appears you're not bringing it to the table. You are the table. You're dragging. You're marching. It's unfortunate. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents on that. And I fully adhere by this in my relationships with girlfriends as well. Just friends as a whole, family, period. Go clock in. Go clock in. Go get a job. Go clock in.
Stop it. Get some help.
I have to say, I partly agree with her. As a man, I've never lived a relaxed life. From the moment I started walking my own path, I changed all my bad habits, to the point where what others call work, I see as fun. I'm not saying men shouldn't take breaks, but you have to be careful how you do it, because it can lead you into a bad situation. If you want to dig deeper into that, read the book The Compound Effect. She can ask for a hardworking, ambitious man with goals, but what is she offering in return? Because if all she brings to the table is that competitive attitude, sooner or later she's going to end up alone, turned into the very man she dreams of marrying. And worst of all, thinking everyone else is beneath her. Brother, that's the perfect recipe for ending up on the wall. And we all know, the wall doesn't forgive.
Let's split the bill. Let's go half and half. Let's talk about it. Good morning, besties, and happy day 3 to staying committed on posting. Okay, I was thinking about this yesterday. I stumbled across this TikTok, and it was about men and women going 50-50 on bills on date night dinners. And I was thinking, am I part of a whole other generation, or what is the deal now? Is that what you guys are doing? If so, what's the point of being together if you're going to be paying for half of your meal? Sis, you're paying for your meal, basically. But is that what's new now? People are going half on everything? And if you're out on a date and a guy wants to split the bill, let's say the server comes out and immediately he's like, oh, half and half. Is that a turnoff? Let me know in the chats. Let me know if that's a turnoff, or if some girls are just like, whatever, I'm fine being taken out and paid for myself. Let me know in the chat and let's talk about it because I'm really curious.
Woman, if you don't want to end up embarrassed, accept going out for a coffee date. No serious man is going to refuse to pay for a coffee. But if you expect a guy to take you to a fancy restaurant you'd never even go to with your own money, don't be surprised if he ends up asking to split the bill, especially if the date was a disaster. I've always paid on the first date, and that's what I recommend. But I've seen way too many men invite women to expensive places, only to watch them order like they haven't eaten in 3 days, and then tell them straight to their face, let's go half and half. And some guys, just to avoid an argument, simply get up and leave, sticking her with the bill. So if you want to go out, carry some money in your purse or be okay with a coffee date. Because the truth is, no one wants to be anyone's free meal.
I fully agree. Men's mental health does matter. That said, why aren't they making it matter, right? Why is it a woman's job to make it matter while they're spending all of their time criticizing us and judging us for the communities and spaces that we...
Because these types of men will do literally anything other than go to therapy and actually address their issues and better themselves because they are consuming a ton of red pill content. And I want to expose some of these red pill content creators that I actually grew up with today. It is a grifter pyramid scheme based off of toxic masculinity that's only goal is to rob these insecure young men of their money. And it's a really good example of how misogyny and the patriarchy harms everyone, including men, not just women. Keeping them at the bottom and unsuccessful by teaching them to be lazy, whiny, blame other people, specifically women, for all your problems. And don't go to therapy to better yourself. No, strip women of all their rights so that they're forced to come back and rely on you. Because, oh no, with women gaining rights, right, they're no longer completely entirely reliant on men, and they don't have to put up with as much of this behavior as before. And beyond that, they've always had to create their own emotional support groups with women that you guys can't seem to form, which is leading to a male loneliness epidemic because male friendships are seen as weak. Because it's easier to blame other people, right, than realize you yourself are your problem in life and going to therapy and bettering yourself. And how do I know all this? I grew up in the Minnetonka, Wayzata, Edina, Minnesota area. Very wealthy red towns that have churned out some of the biggest influencers you know today. I also did shortly go to school out near Los Angeles. So I have talked to and accidentally gone out with some red pill adjacent men before, and I've also been approached by red pill content viewers. You notice the very distinct difference in the wording between those two things? That's because the red pill content men who are making this content and feeding it to millions of kids and ruining a generation know that they are lying and they are conning men out of their money based off of their insecurities. They are frequently surrounded by women to convince you that you can get women if you listen to them because they don't use their own practices. They're actually pretty normal people offline. You can always tell when a man is consuming the red pill content because they are horrible. And luckily, it doesn't usually work, right? They're being taught to treat women terribly, right? Open with negging, putting women down, pushing them to their limits. Things that most emotionally developed women are not going to put up with, luckily. So it doesn't work, and it keeps them down and consuming the content, thinking, what am I doing wrong? Why has he still got women and I don't? And it's because he's not doing what he's telling you to do. That stuff doesn't work. Just like that one really big red pill content creator I don't remember the name of was spotted in public or at an airport or something recently, and a little kid ran up to him and asked for a photo because he loved watching his stuff. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then the kid starts going off on this rant, horrible about women. And the creator's like, whoa, we don't talk about women like that. Like, what are you on about? And everyone was like, what are you talking about? You're literally the one who taught him this stuff. Like, why are you shocked that this kid is acting this way? He's a huge fan of yours. Because these large creators do not realize the damage they are doing to generations and generations of men. All they care about is taking your money, and then they log off, and offline they are completely different people. And the consequences of that is now the rest of us have to deal with these hundreds of thousands, if not millions of men who view them, who are now horrible. And have been taught to do absolutely anything other than going to therapy and addressing their issues to better themselves, because that's what would actually work.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I don't know what red pill she's talking about. For example, on my channel, I've never told men to hate women or to stay single forever. That's not my thing. My message is, follow your own path in life. Become the best version of yourself. Work on your mindset. Learn about finances. Hit the gym. Take care of your appearance. Things like your haircut and the way you dress, and build productive habits. I can guarantee you that'll lead to success in every area of your life. That's the red pill I know. Now, I am clear when I say, don't stay with women who don't respect you. Learn to set boundaries. Talk to your woman about your red lines and your non-negotiables. I point out the manipulation many women use, because the hypocrisy of creators like her is that they only see the bad in men and completely ignore what's happening on the other side. I've never claimed all men are saints. I've talked about the Chads too. But women like her back up everything women do, even when they cheat on a man who was committed to his family, when they demand rights that go beyond equality and turn into superiority over men, when they expect a man to be a simp for them or stay stuck in the friend zone while they go off and have fun with someone else, when they file for divorce out of boredom and leave a good man out in the cold, or when they say never sign a prenup, because they're going straight for the bag. So no, red pill content isn't all bad. It's just that there are a lot of women like you who are mad because that heartbroken friend of yours isn't your puppet in the friend zone anymore.
Women.
We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Would you pay for an expensive dinner on the first date, knowing that most of these women wouldn't even agree to go out for a simple coffee? Do you believe modern women truly want equality, or are they just after all the benefits of a man without giving anything in return? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.